cultural, that's a different story. But I agree that I think it was okay to some degree. I'm going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk about what you guys think about the laws and if they are truly, if justice is really blind and if there really is equality in the government. We'll be right back.
Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
No.
So we are back. If you want to call in, the number is 323-843-6160. I'm going to still talk to Ray and to Free just a second, but I wanted to say quickly that I want to talk quickly about the fact that equality in this country is often, justice, I should say, which is about equality as well, is typically aligned with one's socioeconomic background. So, for example, there's kind of a ranking, I think, of whom is seen as better in the justice system and by society as a whole, because that's what makes up the justice system generally. So I think that the first thing is race. Race is looked at by people coming into a courtroom, by the judge, by the jury, and they're seen as their race. They're seen as black or Asian or Hispanic or white or whatever, and they're attributed certain qualities because of their race instantly in their brain. And not everybody is able to just see past race, but most people see someone of a certain race and they attribute certain things within their mind to them, consciously or subconsciously. The other thing is socioeconomic background. If you have someone who's for example, Caucasian but poor, they have a better chance of getting off than someone who's African American and poor. And that's just the truth. I'm sorry, but it is the truth. And not all justice is blind. And so I wanted to talk about that and ask our callers to see what they thought about it. And you're both unmuted, so you're free to speak.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think that if you look at it about the justice system, it's not all about race. And I don't think about that. I mean, okay, are you familiar with? We're on the news, CNN News, but a couple months ago, it was this doctor, the abortion clinic, and he was an older guy in Philadelphia, and he had killed women. He actually killed this lady and gave her abortion, and she was like, I think 8 months pregnant at the time. So she had, she died, hemorrhage, and she died. And he was killing, and they gave him life. I mean, he was already old. He was like 77 years old. And I don't think about what he did. I don't think about his cousin. He was an African-American man, but I don't think they would do him differently because he was white. They would give him the same thing if he was white. That's how I feel.
Well, for me, it reminds me... just one good example, I guess, is, for example, and it's in the reverse even, is O.J. Simpson, for example. I think most people, not everybody, but remember how I don't know if you were alive, I don't know how old you are, but I remember how divisive it was.
I'm 27, I remember O.J.
Okay.
I remember the Bronco. I remember that.
Well, I was like...
So we were about in 5th grade.
Yeah, I was like 19, exactly. I was like 19 when it happened. I remember when it happened and the whole OJ trial. I remember how divided. I was at the grocery store, at the customer counter doing something, I don't know, like buying stamps or something, and it was on TV, and there were white people around me and there were black people around me. And as soon as they said that he was not guilty, all the black people go, yay! And all the white people go, no way! It was like completely divided along the lines of race. And the thing is, the reason that an African American was not convicted, in my opinion at that time specifically, was not convicted of murder, even though I think there was evidence that he probably was part of it, is not because the justice system is fair and blind or whatever else. It was because of the gimmick. But he was wealthy and well-known. He was famous and he was wealthy. And those two things helped prevent him from being put into prison at the time. Because if he had been just a regular African-American man, unknown, with no money, and in the same situation, he probably would have been convicted because he wouldn't have been able to afford these fancy lawyers with all that money and all that stuff. So don't you agree, or do you disagree, that money makes a huge difference in your defense, your ability to defend yourself in our justice system?
I think it does, and I'm really glad that you brought the whole OJ thing up because honestly, I was thinking about it, and I'm the same age as, I'm sorry I don't know your name, but the other caller on here, and I remember when the whole, is he going to be guilty or not guilty? When that whole day came about, well, I didn't have a damn clue who OJ was. I think I was in 5th grade or something like that. Okay, my mother. I didn't watch the news in 5th grade. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And my mother, honestly, if she did talk about it, it wasn't in front of me. And so all I know, and let's just say when I was in 5th grade, I was going to this very small kind of Catholic, well, not kind of, it was Catholic school. Well, all of the students were put into one room, and the TV was turned on because for some reason, evidently, the teacher was curious as to what was going to happen, so she obviously tried to involve the students, just to pretend to involve the students because she was really interested herself. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the TV, and I'm thinking, who the hell is this guy? I mean, I was clueless. Right.
Uh-huh.
I was 9 years old. I had no damn clue who OJ was or what was going on. And all I remember is, when they said that he was not guilty, now being a Catholic private school, there were black kids there, but there weren't very many. There were more white kids than black. This ended up, the result for me being there was from going to an all-black school, and my mother ended up pulling me out and trying to make
the thing I love about Southerners is that they draw their stories out really long.
The few black kids that were there, of course, were jumping up with joy that he was not guilty, and I'm sitting there looking at them like, how do they even know what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm getting at is it's the parents. The parents make so much of a difference. I had a best friend from kindergarten to 4th grade.
My question is this. My question is, I understand what you're saying. I agree that parents do make a difference, and they do kind of condition their children to believe something. But I just want to say, my question to you is this. Do you think that someone who's wealthy obviously has a better chance of being found innocent of a crime than someone who's not?
Well,
you want me to answer that?
Well, it's the affordability of the lawyer as well. Because here, if you can't afford a lawyer, you get a court-appointed lawyer, which I don't think that's probably going to be your best bet versus a lawyer that you're actually paying.
What do you think?
I agree with you. I'm sorry. I have to say this. I agree with you, but I disagree because of why I say the money you have, because I think is, it's about politics too. And I know some people that pay a lot of money for a good lawyer and still spend about over 10 years in jail. And I think it's not because of your money, how much you put in it. I think sometimes to teach people a lesson now. Because now, back in 20 years ago, your money
you're
meant
actually
something.
really guilty.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee you'll get off, especially if you're guilty. I'm just saying that the way the justice system works is that, for example, even if it's not about guilty or innocence, let's say, for example, you're in a case and you have a lot of money and the other person doesn't, you can draw this thing out forever with continuances and all this kind of crap over and over because you have money to pay for an attorney and the other person doesn't and they don't have any to fight them. So that's what I mean. That kind of thing is inequality and unfair in our society because it's based, the justice system should not be based on how much money you have, what race you are, or any of that stuff. It should only be based on the facts and the law, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that is not where we live. That's not.
Well, let me ask you this.
I do agree.
One person has the money for a lawyer, and the other person doesn't.
Wait. Let's hear what he had, and then you can see. Go ahead. So what you say.
No, I was agreeing with Ray, but I think that I feel like this. It's not all about your color or how much. And I think it's now, honestly, I even said this earlier, it's economically racism. And, even some people, I was going to move to California a few years ago, but a lot of people told me not to because it's racist, but it's not all about your complexion. It's about economically. It's like, you have money now. And I think now in mentality, it's always not about, like you were saying, and I think I'm getting at what you're saying, is it's not about always your color. It's most about what your money is.
Well, that's classic.
And you're right.
And I think this is how I think now. If it was a black man